The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series live from the Paperclip. Round number 5 of the 2022 season starts right now. Live here in the 4Y Broadcasting Network, we thank you for joining us here for today's running of the Blue Emu Maximum Pain Relief 200. 175 laps of short track beat the billion here on this half-mile paved short track in Martinsville, Virginia. One of the oldest tracks on the schedule, a track that's been on the Truck Series schedule dating back to 1995. Today marks the 45th race for the Truck Series here at this track, and we have 40 trucks on the grid, and 5 of those drivers are prior Martinsville winners. So it's going to be interesting to see, will the experience outshine the rookies here in the field? We have champions like Johnny Sauter and Matt Crafton. We have veterans like Hunter Nemechek and Grant Enfinger. And let's not forget the most recent winner here in Martinsville, the 38 of Zane Smith, who got it done in the playoffs last October. And just like last week, we have a doubleheader here on a Saturday at the track. The Truck Series race was supposed to be run last night, but rain in the forecast postponed the race to this morning. And then a little bit later on this evening, we will have the NASCAR Xfinity Series drivers compete here later on this evening. So twice the action, twice the fun, twice the competition, twice the tempers flaring here at the end of the day. Although the race got postponed last night, qualifying did take place, and we had the defending champion, Ben Rhodes, on the pole for his second pole of 2022. And he'll have his Thor Sport teammate Ty Majeski, a short track ace, starting alongside in the number 13. The 18 of Chandler Smith, Stuart Friesen, and Carson Hocevar will round out the top 5 on the grid. And we have a few drivers that we want to keep an eye on here this afternoon, beginning with a former series champion making his first start of 2022. That is the number 7 truck of Sheldon Creed. Creed will be running double duty here this afternoon. He'll be running the Xfinity race here a little bit later on this evening. But Creed, there's a number 7 Wheeling Chevrolet driving the truck for Inspired Motorsports. This has been a very good track for Creed in the Truck Series, but trying to get some extra laps here as he prepares for the Xfinity race here a little bit later on tonight. He'll start on the outside of row number 3. Or number 4, I'm sorry. Another driver we want to keep an eye on is the 17. That is Taylor Gray, the brother of Truck Series regular Tanner Gray that we see on a weekly basis. And today marks the 2022 debut for younger brother Taylor Gray, driving the 17 for David Gilliland Racing. He just turned 17 a few weeks ago, and he'll be in this truck for a good portion of the schedule. He'll start on the outside of row 10 in 20th place. And right behind him in 21st place, the 45. That is another former series champion returning to the Truck Series. The 45 being piloted by James Busher. The 2012 Truck Series champion returns to Nice Motorsports, and he will drive a couple of races in this truck throughout the course of the year. He has 10 prior Martinsville appearances, with the best finish of 3rd all the way back in 2012. Does his experience pay off? Although he hasn't raced here in over 7 years, we'll find out soon enough. And here's a look at the number 35 Chevrolet. That is Jake Garcia, one of 4 drivers making their Truck Series debut here this afternoon, driving the 35 for Bill McAnally Racing, a 3rd truck out of the stable, teammates to Derek Krause and Colby Howard. You also have Jake Garcia making his series debut, but you also have another ARCA driver also making their debut here this afternoon. You have the number 43, the Race to Stop Suicide Chevrolet, Daniel Dye making his series debut, and this is a 3rd truck out of GMS Racing. We've seen this 43 truck on track throughout the course of the year already with a different team carrying the number, but this is a full-on GMS entry, and Daniel Dye, the Florida native, will start 30th in his Truck Series debut. We got a lot more stories we want to cover throughout the course of the day, but right now a commercial break is needed. But don't go anywhere, because the drop of the green flag live from Martinsville is next here on the 4Y Broadcasting Network. The trucks are on track, and we are getting set to go green here, this time by from Martinsville Speedway, Ben Rhodes and teammate Ty Majeski on the front row, and they would double up here entering turn number 1. Chandler Smith and Stuart Friesen on row 2. Carson Hocevar and John Hunter Nemechek on row number 3. 2 trucks going to the rear of the field for unapproved adjustments after qualifying. Colby Howard and Corey Heim. They'll be starting a little bit deep in the field at the very back of the pack, but it's the 2 ThorSport teammates. Ben Rhodes, Ty Majeski, Chandler Smith, Stuart Friesen. 4 Toyotas leading us to the green flag here in the Blue Emu Maximum Pain Relief 200. We're racing here at the Paperclip. Pretty good launch by the 99 of Ben Rhodes, but Ty Majeski hanging tough up top on that outside lane. And here at a short track, your biggest concern is getting your way to the bottom of the racetrack. And you saw the 52 of Stuart Friesen go way high in turn number 3 and 4. Lost quite a few spots right there. And Majeski right now, that 13 of Majeski, if he can't figure out a way to get clear of the 18, at least try to find a way to get in front of that 42 of Carson Hocevar. And now you see at the top of the screen, the 19, Derek Kraus, went way high down in turn 3 and 4. He's going to be put 3 wide. That's the 17 of Taylor Gray in the middle. Jake Garcia on the bottom of the racetrack. Some more 3 wide right up here. Friesen still hung up on the outside lane. There's the 7 of Sheldon Creed. He started back in 8th place. He's already outside the top 10. There's a 38 of Zane Smith on the bottom. Johnny Sauter back in the series this weekend in that 66. Trying to find a way around that 15 of Tanner Gray. As we go back up to the front, though, it is the 99 of Ben Rhodes, your defending champion, leading here in Martinsville over the 18 of Chandler Smith. And then you have Ty Majeski. He's been able to follow in line in 3rd place. Carson Hocevar now in line in 4th. First battle is on the track is for 5th place. Chase Purdy on the bottom. Matty Benedetto up high. And see the Benedetto goes a little bit too high in turn 3 and 4. Out of the groove into the marbles. Nah, really, there's no grip whatsoever up there. And Matty D's going to have a chance to get down in front of the 15 of Tanner Gray. If he can get in the gas soon enough, he does. He'll be able to clear the 15 of Tanner Gray entering turn number 3. Now Johnny Sauter hung up on the outside. Zane Smith on the bottom. And there he saw another truck go way high in 3 and 4. The 7 is Sheldon Creed. Creed now makes his way to the bottom. There's a 75, Parker Kligerman. Now Matt Crafton going after his teammate Johnny Sauter, who doesn't seem to have the pace right now so far. And Stuart Friesen, remember, he qualified all the way up in 4th place. And look how far deep he's falling back, nearly outside the top 10. And that's what the outside lane will do to you. Like, if you cannot get down on that inside lane, you're going to lose a ton of spots. And that's what we've seen out of the 52 of Friesen and the 7 of Sheldon Creed. But here at the front, though, the top 3 are trying to scoot away from 4th place Hocevar. 3 Toyotas, 2 ThorSport teammates, and the KBM of Chandler Smith in the middle. And you see Majeski missed the bottom right there in 3 and 4. See a lot of guys missing the corner in 3 and 4. It's like they're having a tough time keeping the truck on the inside lane. Maybe they're overdriving the entry a little bit. Maybe they're getting loose in the center. But the problem with starting in the back, remember, we talked about Colby Howard and the 51 of Corey Heim. They had to start at the very back of the pack. And the problem with having to do so is that they're already half a track behind race leader Ben Rhodes. Now, Howard and the 51 of Corey Heim, there's the 91 of Colby Howard. They've already been able to pick up quite a few spots already. They've actually picked up a lot more than I was expecting. Corey Heim is definitely on a tear right now. Colby Howard seems to have a lot of speed right now as well, but they're definitely hoping for at least a yellow here at some point to make sure they have enough space to stay on that lead lap, because you can go a lap down here very quickly, and it can be very tough to get that lap back. Fourth place, Hocevar. Fifth place, Chase Purdy. Now Grant Enfinger in the number 23 is up to 6th. Matt DiBenedetto has dropped back to 7th. Hunter Nemechek is 8th. Tanner Gray and Matt Kraft in your top 10. Friesen is 11th. Johnny Sauter, Zane Smith, Parker Kligerman, and James Busher. Great to see James Busher back in the Truck Series with his cousin Chris Busher. We see him on Sundays in the Cup Series. James, the 2012 champion. He'll run maybe one or two, maybe 3 races in this 45 truck throughout the year. So great to see James Busher back on the track. He's ahead of the 19 of Derek Kraus. He's going to get passed here by the 98 of Christian Eckes. Jake Garcia, driving, that is a teammate to the 19 of Derek Kraus. Driving for Bill McAnally's program. Third truck, that number 35. He's going to run about 7 races throughout the course of the year. We had about 2 or 3 of the drivers making their series debut here today. Trying to go back here and see if I can find them. Here's one of them, the 43 of Daniel Dye, making his Truck Series debut. That is a third truck for GMS Racing, using some owner points from another team. But GMS fielding the truck here this weekend right now. Daniel Dye kind of struggling here, pretty deep in the field in that 43 truck. The number 90, Justin Carroll, also making his series debut in that number 90. And a 33 of Chase Janes. We talked about Rayan Brothers. That is the number 33 pilot of this week by Chase Janes. And we talked about, how quickly it is to go a lap down. And, well, we're going to see it right here because Janes already about to go a lap down here to the 99 of Ben Rhodes. And the top 3 continuing to drive away here. And so far, the 18 of Chandler Smith, he's been unable to get around that 99 of Ben Rhodes, although the 99 has been, even though he's been able to maintain the lead, he's not been able to drive away. But now that these guys are in lap traffic, this could provide an opportunity for the 18 of Chandler Smith to make a pass on the 99. As they go by the 33 of Janes to put him a lap down here early on in Martinsville. Next up will be the 5 of Tyler Hill. As we are working lap number 21 of 175 here in Martinsville. See Rhodes. Oh, Rhodes missed the bottom that time. That's what we're talking about. Trying to provide an opportunity for Chandler Smith, and this may be what Smith needs. Rhodes is going to be up top. Can he fight back on the outside? Maybe use to 5 as a pick. No, he slides up the track again down in turn 1 and 2. And Chandler Smith will now go to the front in that number 18. And once again, we see another truck miss the corner. That was the 13 of Majeski. So Ben Rhodes able to get in line back in second place. Now he will go to work on the 18 once again. Fifth place, Matt DiBenedetto. He's a guy you have to keep an eye on. He has a lot of experience here in the Cup Series. Going after Grant Enfinger, and he's going to take 5th place away from that 23. So great run here early on by Matt DiBenedetto. And Enfinger, can he get in front of the 4 Nemechek? Unable to do so. John Hunter, last week's winner from Atlanta, dives down low to the inside of the 23. He'll take 6th place away from the 23 of Enfinger. Enfinger should have enough room to get in front on the bottom, in front of that 61 of Chase Purdy. And Ben Rhodes back to the inside for the lead. So that lead did not last long for the 18 of Chandler Smith. And now Majeski sees the 18 move up the track way high and down in turn 3 and 4. And Majeski will now take 2nd place from Chandler Smith. So it is Thor Sport Racing 1st and 2nd. And now Majeski once more. He's going to go for the lead off turn 2. Great racing here for the lead. Ty Majeski down low. Ben Rhodes up high. There's the 10 of Jennifer Jo Cobb. Trying to keep from going a lap down here on lap number 26. But she will go 1 lap down as Ty Majeski now goes to the front in that 13 truck. Your winner from Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago in the West Coast Swing. 5th place, we saw Matt DiBenedetto get around the 23 of Grant Enfinger. Well, now Enfinger trying to work his way back around that 25. He was able to get back around the 4 of John Hunter. And now Chase Purdy makes a move to the inside of the 4. Further back here, there's the 98 Christian Eckes trying to navigating his way around that 38 of Zane Smith. Last time the Truck Series were here back in the playoffs a year ago, Zane Smith pulled off a big upset win that propelled him into the championship 4. Right now, he's struggling outside the top 10 in 13th place. He just lost a spot right there to Matt Crafton and now tries to get in front of another Thor Sport truck, Johnny Sauter. Purdy now to the inside of the Benedetto as Enfinger now takes 4th place away from Carson Hocevar. So move Enfinger to 4th, and now Purdy may have a shot to get around the 42. No, Hocevar shuts the door here in turn 1. And now all of a sudden the 25 of the Benedetto has lost quite a few spots here. It seems like as Majeski now under attack from the 18 of Chandler Smith, I feel like when you see a truck go way high like we've seen so many times in turn 3 and 4, they miss the corner, and they get all that dirty stuff, up in that groove, all the marbles and stuff on those tires. It seems like it takes some time to kind of, get your truck going again. And right now, Ben Rhodes is going after his teammate for 2nd place as Chandler Smith has now gone back to the lead. And just put the 44 of Dean Thompson a lap down. The 90 of Justin Carroll has now gone a lap down to that number 90 truck. And Enfinger trying to dive it in on the 90 of Carroll. Thompson to the outside of the 90. Trey Hutchinson to 14. Just gone a lap down as now the 99 taking a very shallow entry into turn 3. And Majeski on the outside trying to maybe take advantage of that. And Rhodes is going to hang on to 2nd place momentarily, but Grant Enfinger, this is one guy who's on the move. Enfinger is running some very, very fast lap times right now. He is running down the top 3, so Grant Enfinger definitely seems to have a good long-run truck currently here on lap number 34 of the race. And Majeski again missing turn number 3, sliding way up the racetrack. Hunter Nemechek has now grabbed 5th place away. The Benedetto back up to 6th. Chase Purdy 7th. Hocevar 8th. Christian Eck is now 9th. And Tanner Gray rounding out the top 10 here on lap 35. 33 trucks are now on the lead lap. Timmy Hill is the next truck to go a lap down here to race leader Chandler Smith. We have about 15 laps to go here in the first stage of the day. Stage 1 will end on lap number 50. The second stage will end on lap 100. So 2 50-lap segments here to begin the race. And then that last stage will be 75 laps here in the Blue Emu Maximum Pay Relief 200. Chandler Smith trying to grab his first win of 2022. And we talked about Grant Enfinger. Well, he has now gotten around one of the Thor Sport trucks. Ben Rhodes now down to 4th place. Enfinger now up to 3rd in that 23 truck. Looking very fast here early on. Timmy Hill just got put a lap down. We have 32 trucks right now on the lead lap. And the more trucks that Smith tries to put a lap down, the harder it will be. And the more that they will fight hard to be on the lead lap. We also got word that the 7 truck of Sheldon Creed had to make an unscheduled pit stop. He got into the wall and had to come down pit lane, had a tire going down. There's the 7 of Sheldon Creed. He's trying to see how many laps down he currently is, but tough break early on here for the 7, the former Truck Series champion from 2020. And we have another truck coming to pit lane, the 16, Tyler Ankrum is on pit road. Trying to find him. There he is. Here in a flat tire on the 16 of Tyler Ankrum, your winner from Daytona. And update you on Sheldon Creed. Creed is currently 1 lap down right now in that 7 truck. So he will have an opportunity to take the wave around here should all these guys pit after the stage break in 10 laps. Here's 13th and 14th place. Stuart Friesen and Matt Crafton. Just outside the top 10, there's that 19 of Derek Kraus. Johnny Sauter, a multiple-time winner here at Martinsville. This is one of his best tracks on the circuit right now, and started running part-time here in 2022. We go back to the front, though. The 18 now under fire. The 13 of Hunter Nemechek to the back bumper of the 18 of Chandler Smith, as they just got around the 20 of Drew Dollar. Now the 30 of Tate Fogelman gives the bottom up to the 18 of Smith, who now goes to the inside, trying to get around these guys as quickly as he can, because Nemechek is right there ready to pounce. 4 trucks under a blanket here at the front, battling for the stage 1 victory. Coming to 6 to go here in the first stage of the day. $90 of Justin Carroll on pit lane. Second place, so Enfinger on the inside of Hunter Nemechek, trying to grab second away, entering turn number 3. That's exactly what the 18 of Chandler Smith wants to see in his rearview mirror. These two guys battling for second place. That may provide Chandler Smith enough opportunity to scoot away and try to hold on for the final 4 laps here. 33 of Chase Janes also on pit lane. Tyler Ankrum, he had a problem. He's now 3 laps down in that 16 truck. And this is very important for Tyler Ankrum, because the leaders are right ahead of him. If he can at least get up here and get around that 18, he'll only be 2 laps down, which is still not good, but that's way easier than being 3 laps down. And he's going to get around the 13 of Nemechek, but he has to get around that 23 very quickly if he's going to have an opportunity to unlap himself into being 2 laps down. Right now, Jack Wood, the 24, the last truck on the lead lap behind his teammate Daniel Dye, the 43. We have 2 GMS trucks here, the last 2 trucks on the lead lap, and their teammate Grant Enfinger right now running in second place. Definitely a very opposite race going on for those drivers right now. And Ankrum has closed in on Chandler Smith. And Ankrum's going to be very aggressive, trying to get around the 18, and the 18 is going to give him the outside lane. Very smart move there by Chandler Smith. Let the 16 pass on the outside. That way you can hold your lane on the bottom and not lose too much time to the 23 of Grant Enfinger, and that may be enough for Chandler Smith to win the stage as we enter the final lap here in stage number 1. Enfinger second, Nemechek third, Ben Rhodes and Chase Purdy having a great day in 5th. Hocevar, John Hunter, Eckes de Benedetto, and Tanner Gray, your top 10, but it will be the 18 of Chandler Smith winning the stage here in Martinsville. So Jack Wood will stay on the lead lap, and I believe the 30, Tate Fogelman, will be getting his lap back. He'll get the free pass here, as the caution is out here in Martinsville. Stage 1 in the books, and it's the 18 of Chandler Smith winning the first stage of the day. We definitely saw some tire fall off there at the end of that first stage. We saw how quickly Tyler Ankrum ran down the 18 to get one of his laps back. So these guys are going to come down pit lane and get service. Enfinger second, Nemechek, Ben Rhodes, and Chase Purdy. I'm trying to make sure I want to see if anybody is going to possibly try to stay out here. Maybe get some track position. Oh, looks like the 91 is Colby Howard. Colby Howard's going to stay out here. So that's going to be very interesting to see when we go back green here, as the 18 of Chandler Smith will win the race off pit lane over Enfinger and Ben Rhodes. Purdy and Nemechek, your top 5 off pit lane. And there's a look at your... I'm trying to find him. There he is. There's a look at your new leader, the 91 of Colby Howard. He stays out under this caution break, and he will be the leader when we go back green here in the 4Y Broadcasting Network after the break. Round number 5 of the 2022 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series season brings us to Martinsville Speedway. The Blue Emu maximum pain relief 200, a double day here for NASCAR racing, a double header. Truck Series racing here this morning after the race got postponed to this morning after rain from last night. The NASCAR Xfinity guys will be on track later on this evening. So double the action, double the fun here at the Paperclip. Take a look here at your Stage 1 results. Chandler Smith gets a playoff point. Grant Enfinger, Ty Majeski, Ben Rhodes. Great runs by Chase Purdy, Matt Benedetto, Tanner Gray inside the top 10. Bad news for Christian Eckes and Hunter Nemechek. They were caught speeding on pit lane, so they're going to be restarting pretty deep in the field here. But it is going to be the 91 of Colby Howard. Remember, Colby Howard stayed out. He did not come down pit road, so he's going to be on older tires. How will that play out? We're about to find out as we're going to go back green here from Martinsville. And look at the 18 of Chandler Smith scoop by on the outside lane. Howard unable to get in the gas, and that's going to allow the outside lane to have the advantage early on. Chandler Smith to the front. The 99 of Ben Rhodes going to get by in second place. Howard moves high. Now at the 23 of Grant Enfinger down low, and Majeski gives the 91 the bumper and sends Howard up the racetrack. An aggressive move there, but the 13 of Ty Majeski. Carson Hocevar trying to take advantage of that, though. He got to the inside of the 13. And there's that 25 of Matty Benedetto behind Zane Smith, Stuart Friesen, and Colby Howard falling back like a rock. Look at Jake Garcia making it 3 wide. He picked up quite a few spots there on pit lane. Was the 35 of Jake Garcia. And we have one truck coming to pit lane. That's the 90. I see some damage on the front end of Justin Carroll's car. And there may have been a crash not long after we went green. And yeah, I see some damage on a 33 of Chase Janes, a 30 of Tate Fogelman. Something definitely happened on the restart. Let's go back and try to take a look at what took place. Alright, so here we are with the Tate Fogelman. That's who we're going to be running on board. And watch what happens down here in turn number 1. There's going to be an insane checkup. I have no idea where that even began. I believe maybe we're around Haley Deegan. But there was an insane checkup, and the 98 of Christian Eckes, he also got a significant amount of damage. The 4 truck of John Hunter. Remember, these two guys sped on pit road. These two guys sped on pit lane, and they had a restart here in the very back of the pack in that checkup. Look at the damage on the 4 and the 98. Here's another look at it right here. The checkup begins all the way at the front because the 91 of Colby Howard. And look at all the guys who has to pay the price. I mean, all the way deep in the field. I mean, it's like a big accordion effect all the way from the very front row with Colby Howard. And so many guys got a lot of damage from that, including 2 drivers who were inside the top 10 in that first stage, Christian Eckes and Hunter Nemechek. As we go back up to the front, though, it is the 18 of Chandler Smith trying to drive away from the 99 of Ben Rhodes, Grant Enfinger. Chase Purdy having a career day right now in 4th. Carson Hocevar having his best run of 2022 in 5th place. Matty Benedetto, Zane Smith, Ty Majeski falling back, Stuart Friesen, and Derek Krause, your top 10. So Majeski having a tough time here in the beginning of this second stage. Falling back now. Under fire from Stuart Friesen, the 52 truck. There's Jake Garcia just outside the top 10 in 11th. Parker Kligerman. There's Corey Heim. Remember, Corey Heim had to start last today. He had to come down pit lane. We got the 27 car, I believe. Possibly a tire going down on the 27 of Chris Wright. Have to keep an eye on the 27. See some damage on the front. And what was that? I believe we're on the yellow. Oh yeah, we have the 30 of Tate Fogelman stopped on towards the exit of pit road. And Old Sheldon Creed runs right into the 30. Wallace Allen, John Hunter Nemechek trying to avoid the 30, but the 7, Sheldon Creed. A lot of damage on that 7 truck. So we are under caution for the second time today. There's Lawless Allen. His truck is still stalled down towards the exit of pit lane. By some heavy damage on the 7 of Sheldon. Could I believe Matt Crafton got some damage in that 88 truck as well? And here's a look at what happened to bring out the yellow to 30 of Tate Fogelman. Remember, he was one of the victims of that big stack up on the restart. And his truck loses power here. Coming off turn number 2. He's trying to get his truck off the racing surface. Comes down, parks it towards the exit of pit lane. That brings out the yellow. We'll watch the 7 of Sheldon Creed. The engine blows on the 30. And Sheldon Creed runs right into Fogelman. Dean Thompson, the 44. Matt Crafton, the 88 truck. Several guys getting some damage here. John Hunter actually lost a lap. John Hunter Nemechek and Lawless Allen, they got trapped a lap down because of that. So a lot of drama going on here early on in Martinsville. Stage 1 was pretty calm, pretty cool, pretty collected, but stage 2 definitely a lot more drama developing here at the Paperclip. But no drama right now for Chandler Smith. The 18 of Chandler Smith leads here in Martinsville under stage 2. Under caution here in Martinsville. Getting set to go back green here this time by from Martinsville. Chandler Smith and Ben Rhodes to the front row. Tate Fogelman has taken his truck to the garage area. His afternoon is over. Tough break for Fogelman. Chandler Smith and Ben Rhodes now the front row. Rhodes on the outside lane. How quickly can he find his way to the bottom here on the restart? But find out here as the green flag comes back out and we are back underway. Do an update that the 4 of John Hunter Nemechek did not lose a lap. He was able to stay on the lead lap because a caution was out, and because of caution laps not counting, he was able to stay on the lead lap. It's going to be 3 wide back here. Jake Garcia, another 3 wide move on the inside. Garcia making it work in that 35 truck. Garcia's been very aggressive, but he's doing a great job in that 35 truck. Zane Smith misses the corner in turn 3 and nearly gets put in the wall by the 52 of Friesen. Ty Majeski had a great restart. He's now driven back inside the top 5, going after the 42 truck of Carson Hocevar. The 7 truck of Sheldon Creed on pit lane. We have more trucks on pit road, including the 98 of Christian Eckes, and Sheldon Creed has taken this truck to the garage area. Hearing that possibly a mechanical failure on the 98 of Christian Eckes as well. Both of those trucks took some pretty hard impacts. And we're hearing that it was a radiator busted on the 98 and the 7 both with the same issue. And now both have gone to the garage area. A flat tire for John Hunter Nemechek. That's why he was on pit lane. So now we have Nemechek a lap down. And we have Eckes, Creed, and Fogelman out of the race here in Martinsville. And we're only on lap 65. We're not even halfway through this race. And already a lot of drama developing here in stage 2. But it is pretty clean here at the front. Chandler Smith trying to maintain less than a half-second lead on Grant Enfinger. Ben Rhodes is in 3rd. Ty Majeski and Chase Purdy inside the top 5. Stuart Friesen, though, he's now made his way up to 6th place. That 52 truck seems a lot better here in stage 2 than it did in stage 1. Able to come down pit lane after that stage break. Make some adjustments. And that truck has now come to life in 6th. Carson Hocevar in 7th. Jake Garcia Zane Smith, and Tanner Gray. Making up the top 10, how about give a shout out to Jesse Little. That 12 truck of Jesse Little for Young's Motorsports just outside the top 10, running in 11th place ahead of the 19 of Derek Kraus. Chris Wright back here. Matty Benedetto has now fallen back to 15th. Daniel Dye, Jack Wood, James Busher, Haley Deegan, and Colby Howard. Your top 20. Corey Himes back here in that 51 truck. There's Johnny Sauter, Greg Gaulding, Tyler Ankrum. He's stuck 2 laps down. Matt Crafton is back here in that 88. There's a 20 of Drew Dollar. Taylor Gray's all the way back here in the 17. So far in the first 4 races of the year, as we got the 56 truck of Timmy Hill on pit road. Trouble for Timmy Hill. He'll go another lap down. But in the first 4 races of the year, we've seen 4 different drivers find victory lane. We've seen Tyler Ankrum win at Daytona, Zane Smith win in Fontana, Ty Majeski score his first career win at Las Vegas, and then at Atlanta, Hunter Nemechek grabbed the win. And right now we got 3 guys at the front, trying to make it 5 for 5 for first winners of 2022. Different winners, I should say. Chandler Smith and Grant Enfinger right now trying to duke it out here for stage 2. Got about 30 laps to go here in this second stage. One driver who is having a tough time is the idiot of Matt Crafton. He's in 25th place out of 27 trucks that are on the lead lap. We saw Crafton was one of the trucks that ran into the 30 of Fogelman when he was stopped on the racetrack. He never came down pit road. I see the spotter, his crew chief, told the 88 that his truck looked okay, and they capped him out on the track. But Crafton right now is struggling in that 88 truck. See some damage on the front end of the 20 of Drew Dollar. I believe after that check that we saw in that one restart to begin stage 2, I believe almost half the field has to have at least some sort of damage, whether it's on the front end or the bumper of these trucks. But the way the trucks look right now all over the track, it's beginning to look more and more like a typical short track race. A lot of beating, and a lot of banging. Chandler Smith trying to drive away from Grant Enfinger, and some of these guys in this race trying to run double duty here because they'll be in the Xfinity race here a little bit later on tonight, and one of them was Sheldon Creed. That's one reason why he was in this race, to get a little bit more time on this track, although he's been very good at this track in previous years. Sheldon Creed was running this race to get a little bit more laps, a little bit more comfortable before the race tonight. Hunter Nemechek, he'll also be in that race tonight. Trying to figure out if there's any more guys in this race that will be racing tonight. I don't believe so. Smith just put the 5 of Tyler Hill another lap down. Working lap number 77 of 175. Over 98 laps to go here in this race. As now Enfinger tries to make a pass on Tyler Hill. Next up will be the 33 of Chase Janes. Trying to find some battles here in the racetrack. Really not a whole lot going on. Talked about James Busher earlier on in the day in that 45 truck, the 2012 champion. Finished 3rd here back in 2012. That was his best finish here at the Paperclip. Running in 16th, right behind Daniel Dye, who was at one point not too far from going a lap down in that first stage. He's now worked his way up to 15th place in that 43 truck. Running full-time in the ARC Series this year for Daniel Dye. And Johnny Sauter, I believe he may have got the bumper from the 25 of Matty Benedetto. Sauter shot way up the racetrack in turn 3. And Benedetto makes the pass work, and now he works away. He's trying to work her way around the 45 of Busher, and then now Sauter back to the 25's bumper. Oh, James Busher kind of got tight entering the corner. The Benedetto, a nice corner there on the outside lane, trying to make that second lane work. It's so hard to make a pass on the outside lane. You need to have a lot of grip coming off the corners. And I believe the Benedetto is going to make the pass work on the outside lane. Even though it's back for 15th place, that's still very impressive. That drivers are able to make a pass like that. There's the 51 of Corey Heim. Got a report earlier that he got in the wall coming off turn number 4 on this previous restart. He's now falling back to about that back half of the top 20 there in this 51 truck. Running part-time this year for KBM. Right now running in 21st place. Greg Gaulding 22nd. Haley Deegan is 23rd. Taylor Gray 24th. And Blaine Perkins 25th. Lawless Allen and Matt Crafton. His struggles continues right now in 27th place. The last truck on the lead lap. He has about 15 more laps to go until this stage break will come to a close. And I believe he should be okay, as the 18 Chandler Smith still has many trucks he's going to have to navigate around, like the 90 of Justin Carroll, the 56 of Timmy Hill. There's that 14 of Trey Hutchins. Now, one driver that came to pit road after the restart, after the Tate Fogelman crash, was the 91 of Colby Howard. Remember, he stayed out at the conclusion of stage 1. And at the beginning of stage 2, he fell back like a rock. He fell all the way back to the last truck on the lead lap. When Tate Fogelman brought out that yellow when his truck broke down off turn 2, Howard came to pit road, got some tires, and he's now driven his way back up inside the top 15, just outside the top 10. So a great rebound for the 91 of Colby Howard after his previous strategy did not work out earlier in the stage. We're right now currently in 13th place behind Jesse Little, who continues to have a great day here in 12th place. 13 laps to go here. There's Parker Klugerman, the 75, trying to work his way around the 91, Matty Benedetto. We saw him running up inside the top 5. He's now outside the top 10, trying to find some more spots here before the stage comes to a close. Trying to go back up to the front right now. Earlier, in that first stage, we saw 4 trucks under a blanket for the stage win. The ThorSport trucks don't seem to have the pace that they had in that first stage. Right now, it's down to the 18 and the 23. Chandler Smith and Grant Enfinger. And right now, Enfinger trying to find some different lines to possibly gain a little bit more momentum on the 18 of Smith as he tries to work his way around some of these lap down trucks. They just got around the 90 of Carroll. And now trying to go after the 56 of Timmy Hill, who was on pit lane not too long ago. Making a unscheduled pit stop. But for Chandler Smith, trying to sweep the first 2 stages of the day here in Martinsville. Sophomore driver, he slides up the racetrack. Here comes Enfinger to the bottom off turn 2. Elliott Smith should be able to clear the 23 down in turn 3, but he misses the corner again. Here comes Enfinger for the stage win in about 10 laps, but this is for the lead right now. Grant Enfinger trying to make the bottom work. He has the preferred lane, and he's going to clear the 18, possibly, maybe. He's got him clear, and Enfinger now takes the lead away from Chandler Smith. They had about a 2-second lead on the 99 of Ben Rhodes. So now put the 23 on point. Enfinger now leading the way here now, but he's going to have to try to work around this 14 of Trey Hutchins very quickly. Chase Purdy having an awesome day in that 61. This is definitely a career day for Chase Purdy, a sophomore driver. He ran for GMS Racing a year ago, drove the truck that Grant Enfinger is driving right now, and Enfinger gives up the bottom, and here comes Smith back for the lead. Smith down low. They're both trying to get around that 14 of Trey Hutchins. But Chase Purdy, he drove that 23 truck a year ago, and just the success was just not there for Chase Purdy. And Enfinger way high in turn one. That may be what's going to give the 18th stage win here. That was a terrible mistake there by Grant Enfinger. But Chase Purdy, he moved over to Hattori Racing. This is a second truck out of the stable, and right now he is having an awesome run here inside the top 5 in 3rd place. Not too far back from possibly getting 2nd. Ben Rhodes is in 4th, and Stuart Friesen has now driven his way up inside the top 5 until maybe right now it's Majeski tries to take that spot back away here off turn 4. 4 laps to go here in stage number 2 for Chandler Smith. Talked about Chase Purdy being a sophomore driver. Chandler Smith is as well. He has 2 victories in his Truck Series career. Won the short track race at Bristol last August or last September. Also picked up the win in the season finale last season in Phoenix. Purdy 3rd, Ben Rhodes 4th. We have a truck coming to pit lane, and it's Ty Majeski coming to pit lane, 2 to go. He got to pit road before 2 to go, so he's not going to have a penalty. But Ty Majeski, a problem with a 13 truck here, and it is a flat left front tire on the 13 of Ty Majeski. And this is just terrible now because Majeski's going to go a lap down. He may be able to take the wave around if he can get out of pit road soon enough. But Majeski goes a lap down to the 18 of Chandler Smith, as we are now on the final lap here in stage number 2. Enfinger trying to mount one more charge. It will not be enough. And it's going to be the 18 of Chandler Smith, sweeping the first 2 stages of the day here in Martinsville. Grant Enfinger 2nd, Chase Purdy, Ben Rhodes, and Stuart Friesen. That should be the top 5. But what a tough break for the 13 of Ty Majeski. I believe he ended up going 2 laps down in that 13 truck. A left front tire went down for Majeski. And one of the fastest trucks in that first stage is now going to be in a deep hole for the remainder of the race. You hate to see that for Ty Majeski. Now we're going to have pit stops once again. Chandler Smith, Grant Enfinger, and Chase Purdy, the first 3 trucks on pit lane. And I'm kind of interested to see if we're going to have anybody try to stay out here again. And look who it is, the 91 of Colby Howard, staying out. Remember, he stayed out at the end of stage 1. It did not work out. And now he's going to try it again. I believe we had one more truck stay out. I believe the 9 of Blaine Perkins has stayed out. So 2 trucks are now staying out here at the conclusion of stage 2. There's one of them, the 9 of Blaine Perkins. He's going to be restarting in 2nd place on the outside of the front row. The 91 of Colby Howard, he's going to take over the lead once again in the hydraulic Chevrolet for Bill McAnally Racing. Couple of guys looking for a win, trying to find a little bit of strategy to make their way to the front. And Grant Enfinger won the race off pit road. He got in front of the 18, as did the 61 of Chase Purdy. So it'll be Howard, Perkins, Enfinger, Purdy, and Smith, the top 5, when we go back green right here after the break, here from Martinsville. Colby Howard leads here at Martinsville Speedway. Under caution here at the end of stage number 2, we are going to go back green here, this time by for the final 75 laps here in stage number 3. Colby Howard and Blaine Perkins, they stayed out. They're going to be on older tires. The first truck on new tires, Grant Enfinger in that 23. Chase Purdy on the outside of road 2. Chandler Smith and Stuart Friesen on road 3. Ben Rhodes, Carson Hocevar, Derek Kraus, and teammate Jake Garcia rounding out the top 10. So we are going to go back green here. Colby Howard and Blaine Perkins. How is this going to turn out? Two trucks on the front row with older tires. We're back to green this time by. Grant Enfinger, pretty good jump there on the restart. Gets clear of the Nana Perkins. Now dives deep into turn number 3 on the inside of Colby Howard as Perkins way high in turn 3 and 4. Friesen is going to be the big loser as we got the 51 in the wall. Corey Heim in the wall off turn number 4. That is the second time he's gotten in the wall. Jake Garcia trying to move up through the middle. That's Chris Wright on the bottom. Carson Hocevar up top. Ty Majeski, we saw him come to pit lane. Trouble for the 13. And Hocevar again up in the marbles. You saw him get loose there. We had a glitch at the end of stage number 1, or at the end of stage number 2. So we have a couple of trucks coming to pit lane because they're having to basically give up a lap because of the glitch we had. They're being shown on the lead lap. But that's why you see many trucks on pit lane. But right now it is Grant Enfinger leading the way over Chandler Smith. Colby Howard, remember, he stayed out, but he's only dropped back to 3rd. So although it didn't work the first time, it's kind of working pretty well the second time here. We are now under yellow. The 17 of Taylor Gray has been in the wall. Got some damage on the front end of the 56 of Timmy Hill. So caution flag is out involving Timmy Hill and Taylor Gray. Not sure what the issue is between these two trucks. Here it is. Taylor Gray goes way out of the groove. Corey Heim puts him in the wall, and look at the 17 go in the air, and Timmy Hill had nowhere to go. That was an insane wreck at Martinsville. That's the type of wreck that we never see here at a track like this. And Taylor Gray, that truck went in the air, just got straight up put in the wall by Corey Heim. And remember, we saw Corey Heim get put in the wall a few laps prior. It may have been Taylor Gray who put him in the wall. Here's another look at it. On the outside of Gray Galding, Gray just misses the corner. And Corey Heim was already on the outside of his brother, Tanner Gray. And Timmy Hill had nowhere to go. And the 90 of Justin Carroll, he also had nowhere to go. He got a piece of that coming off turn 4 as well. Definitely a tough situation for Justin Carroll, Timmy Hill, Taylor Gray, making his first start of the year. Definitely not the way he wanted to begin his 2022 Truck Series campaign. So he will go to pit road to the attention of his pit crew, as will Timmy Hill. And the pace car back out on the track for the 4th caution of the day. We have a couple of trucks coming to pit lane. Enfinger is going to give up the lead. So Grant Enfinger is coming down pit road. We also got Colby Howard, Derek Krause, Jesse Little, James Busher, Blaine Perkins, Chris Wright, Matt DiBittadeno, Carson Hocevar, Jack Wood, Garcia, Daniel Diet, Greg Goni. A lot of trucks coming to pit road. And I'm not sure why they're coming down. But Grant Enfinger just gave up the lead. Maybe there's a concern about fuel. Maybe they believe that if they pit now, they'll be in that fuel window, but because these guys, they do not get as much fuel as you would think. With it being a short track, they get about 50% fuel. So with Enfinger giving up the lead, that has now put the 18 of Chandler Smith back in the mix up here at the front. It's Chandler Smith, Ben Rhodes, Chase Purdy, Zane Smith, and Stuart Friesen. John Hunter Nemechek, Johnny Sauter, Haley Diggin, Matt Crafton, and Corey Heim, who kind of initiated that caution. He never came down to fix the repairs on the right side of that truck. There's Tanner Gray. But under our fourth caution of the day here in Martinsville, Chandler Smith now your leader here, as we'll be back green after the break. Working lap number 6 of this final stage here at Martinsville. Chandler Smith leads the way over a couple of Toyotas, Ben Rhodes and Chase Purdy. The top 11 trucks stayed out. Grant Enfinger will be restarting in 12th place. He'll be the first truck that came to pit lane, and they did come down pit road because it was going to be in their fuel window. If they pit there, they should be able to make it. So we'll see if Enfinger can navigate his way back up to where he was inside the up inside the top 5. And you want to look at the ticker. You see the ticker. Some of the laps are not correct just yet. They still have to. Some of the guys that were lapped in at the end of stage 2, they still have to come down pit lane, and basically a penalty. Have to give up some of their laps because the glitch kind of messed a little bit of it up. But we're going to go back green here. Chandler Smith and pole center Ben Rhodes back up here in the mix for the lead. That was a very good restart by the 99 of Ben Rhodes on the outside of Chandler Smith. If he can't get around the 18, he has to at least try to worry about getting in front of that 61 of Purdy. And Zane Smith had a tough turn 3 and 4. He lost quite a few spots in that 38 truck. Went a little bit too high. Going to be 3 wide here off turn 2. Purdy and Rhodes under fire now from Stuart Friesen on the inside lane. Purdy trying to scoot the 99 out the way as Stuart Friesen makes it 3 wide, and he's going to get around the 61 of Purdy, and now working on the inside of Ben Rhodes. We saw Stuart Friesen. He lost several spots in that on the restart prior. He missed turn 3, lost several spots, went too high in the corner. But this restart, definitely working out for the 52 as Ben Rhodes. That's exactly what happened to the 52 truck. That last restart, he went too high down in turn 3 and 4 as Tanner Gray 3 wide on the inside. And there's Grant Enfinger on those new tires. Those new tires shouldn't be that big of a difference, but it is always nice to have a little bit more extra rubber than your fellow competitors, as Ben Rhodes again cannot make the corner as Colby Howard, Haley Deegan tight off turn number 4. Again, some of the trucks that you see on pit road, they are having to give up a lap because their lap is not correct. Definitely got some new players here at the front, though. We got Chandler Smith, who's been up front all day long. You have Stuart Friesen in second. Haven't really seen Stuart this high up in the running order all day long. He was running around 5th place for a good portion of that second stage. But he's now in 2nd place trying to chase down Chandler Smith. But how about some of these suspects here at the front? We got Johnny Sauter, a multiple-time winner here at Martinsville. Matt Crafton at one point was not too far from going a lap down in that second stage. He stayed out, picked up a lot of spots. He is now in 4th place. Hunter Nemechek was lapped down almost at one point. He's now 5th. Grant Enfinger, and he was lapped down. Do want to clarify, he was at least one lap down earlier in the race. He is now in 5th place. Grant Enfinger has picked up 6 spots from where he restarted outside the top 10. He's now 6th. Chase Purdy has dropped to 7th. James Busher in that 45 is in 8th. Derek Krause and Tanner Gray, your top 10. And Heim up the track. Here comes Zane Smith and Colby Howard. 5 trucks are out of the race. Tate Fogelman, we saw what happened to him earlier on in the race. Radiator busted on the 30, stopped at the exit of pit road. Sheldon Creed and Christian Eckes took their cars to the garage area after contact on a restart. And the most previous caution came out when Corey Hine, the 51, put Taylor Gray in the wall, and Timmy Hill had nowhere to go. So Taylor Gray and Timmy Hill both have taken their trucks to the garage area. And that last restart, or that last caution, gave Tyler Ankrum a lap back. So he's only 1 lap down. He was 3 laps down earlier in the race. 4th place under battle between Crafton and Nemechek, and there's Enfinger in that 23. James Busher in 8th. I believe he's the 2nd truck on new tires. Tanner Gray in the 15. He stayed out. The 19 of Derek Krause under attack from that 15. There's Haim and there's Colby Howard. 43 of Daniel Dye inside the top 15, ahead of Matt DiBenedetto, Zane Smith. There's Garcia, Ben Rhodes. He has dropped all the way outside the top 15. He restarted on the outside of the front row, and he is all the way down towards the back half of the top 20. Carson Hosevar, who was running up inside the top 5 for a good much of the afternoon, struggling here right now in that 42 truck. Taking a look here at the 18 of Chandler Smith. Unable to drive away, though, from that 52 of Stuart Friesen. Friesen is staying in the tire tracks of that 18 of Smith, not letting him drive away at all. In fact, he's been closing the gap ever so slightly. So Stuart Friesen may have something to say about Chandler Smith as we have just a little bit more than 50 laps to go here in this race. Smith tries to go past the slower 33 of Chase James. He's on the outside. Could this possibly provide an opportunity for Friesen to take advantage of the 18 of Smith? Smith unable to complete the pass on the 33 just yet, but he's going to have a nice run here off turn number 2. And he should be able to clear the 33. He does, entering turn number 3. So now Friesen will have trouble. He's going to have a little bit of trouble trying to get around that 33 of James. There's Johnny Sauter. A 3-time Martinsville winner for Johnny Sauter. Not running full-time here in 2022. Running a part-time deal here in the Truck Series. Going to run about 10 to 12 races throughout the course of the year. Maybe more, maybe less. They haven't really identified a number of races just yet, but right now running strong in 3rd place. Matt Crafton had a top 5 at Las Vegas, had a 2nd place finish at Atlanta, and right now having another strong run here inside the top 5, although he has not ran here all day long. He's been outside the top 20 for much of the day, but now late in this race, finds himself inside the top 5 ahead of the 4 of John Hunter Nemechek, who also has not had a clean day. He sped on pit road after the pit stop under yellow after stage 1. Got some damage and a checkup on the stage 2 restart. Had to come down pit road. Had a tire going down. Went a lap down. Got that lap back the hard way. Right now, here he is in 5th place. Enfinger has been unable to get around the 4 just yet, or the 88. You saw the right front tire entering turn number 3. The brakes beginning to glow. You see a little bit of you can tell that the brakes heating up on these trucks. Laps are winding down. This race goes by so quickly because, I mean, these guys only get around here in less than 20 seconds and got about 45 laps to go for Chandler Smith, searching for his 3rd career NASCAR Camping World Truck Series victory. Stuart Friesen hasn't won in a couple of years. Hasn't won since he and his team switched to Toyota at the beginning of 2020. Had a terrible 2020 season, but came back strong in 2021. And now looking pretty good here in 2022, although he's currently outside the top 10 in points entering this race. I believe he's outside the top 15 in points. So just her hoping for a good run here this afternoon. There's Crafton in third, Johnny Sauter in fourth place. And here comes Infinger trying to get fifth away from Nemechek. And Crafton now trying to claim third from Johnny Sauter. Can he clear low entering the corner? He cannot. Sauter is still there. But King Crafton uses the 10 of Jennifer Jo Cobb as a pick here off turn number 2. He's going to get to the outside of the 10 in turn 3. So Crafton may be able to take advantage of this 10 of Cobb being off the pace. And he's going to maybe give Grant Infinger an idea to try the same thing here in that top lane. Use Cobb as a pick to get around Nemechek and Sauter. But Cobb not really giving up just yet. Looks like Crafton may clear Cobb down here in turn 3. Chandler Smith has now caught the 90 of Justin Carroll. Right now we have 26 trucks on the lead lap. Blaine Perkins, the last truck on the lead lap. Carroll currently 7 laps down, trying to keep from going 8 laps down. But Smith to the inside. There's the 20 of Drew Dollar. Not too far from going a lap down. We got the 14 of Trey Hutchins. There's the 9 of Blaine Perkins. 44 Dean Thompson, his teammate Lawless Allen. Haven't really talked about Lawless Allen today. Just outside the top 20. Jack Wood, the 24 truck. Currently in 24th. Chris Wright up ahead in 23rd place. I tell you what, the top 2, they have driven off to a completely different zip code over third place. Matt Crafton. Johnny Sauter has now fallen back to, it's like 7th place now in that 66. Chase Purdy just took 6 away from Sauter, so Sauter now falling back. Corey Haim has now moved inside the top 10 in 9th, behind that 19 of Derek Krause. And look at this for the lead off turn number 4. Stuart Friesen to the inside for the lead on Chandler Smith. Friesen down low, Smith up high, new leader 52. Give it to Stuart Friesen here late in the race. But they're side by side ahead of them. Lap down trucks. Drew Dollar, the 20, the 9 of Blaine Perkins. Perkins is the lead lap truck. Perkins is going to probably cost Friesen the lead. Smith was able to get back to the Friesen's inside lane. So Perkins goes a lap down. That'll give us 25 trucks on the lead lap. Or actually 24 trucks. Now we have another truck coming to pit lane. The 43, Daniel Dye is on pit lane. Trying to see if we can find Daniel Dye. There he is. Leaving pit road. He's gone multiple laps down now. It's a tough break for Daniel Dye, who had at one point driven up inside the top 15 in that race to stop Suicide Chevrolet for GMS Racing. And Dye now multiple laps down here late in the race. Drew Dollar has now got another lap down. Now Trey Hutchins into 14, about to go another lap down. So Chandler Smith trying to drive off. He got passed by Friesen and was able to get that lead back away. And we didn't really get to see how Friesen got to his inside, whether it was a lap down truck, got in the way, maybe Smith missed the corner. But either way, it looks pretty good right now for the 18 of Chandler Smith, trying to win all 3 stages here this afternoon. He's led the most laps. They have a 2.5 second lead on Matt Crafton and a 4 second lead on Hunter Nemechek. There's Crafton in 3rd place. Nemechek in 4th. Last week's winner, trying to go back-to-back. He'll start 2nd in the Xfinity race later on tonight, driving the 20 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. trying to keep an eye on here at the front because we got some more trucks about to go a lap down. We got Dean Thompson, the 44. He's already multiple laps down, but we got one of his teammates up here, Lawless Allen. He's on the lead lap. So is Jack Wood and Chris Wright. I want to try to keep an eye on these drivers right up here because they could provide another opportunity for Friesen to try to make a pass on that 18 of Smith. And these two guys continue to battle hard for the lead. Matt Crafton, he has been running some quicker lap times recently in that 88 truck. He won here back in 2014. Right now to the outside of the 20 of Drew Dollar. He's driven off from John Hunter and Grant Enfinger. I thought Enfinger was going to be a lot quicker. He was able to drive up to about 5th place. Now 4th place here, but he kind of stalled out a little bit. And Friesen has now gotten back around the 18. As they try to go around the 44, Dean Thompson, Stuart Friesen now leading here at Martinsville. We'll be coming to about 27 to go here next time by. So Friesen back in the mix, back in the lead. But now he has 3 trucks that are on the lead lap. And how hard are they going to fight that 52? Because if a caution comes out, and they can stay ahead of that 52, they can still have a shot at a top 20 finish. There's still a lot on the line for a guy like Jack Wood, for a guy like Lawless Allen, Chris Wright, that 27, and Friesen got loose off turn 4. Here comes Smith. Another look to the inside in turn 1. We saw this a lot in the first stage. We saw Chandler Smith swap the lead back and forth with Ty Majeski and Ben Rhodes. And once again, the 18 back to the lead with Chandler Smith behind the wheel. 26 to go, be 25 to go. This time by Kyle Busch Motorsports trying to go back-to-back here in the Truck Series. Won at Atlanta last week with Hunter Nemechek. That lead on Matt Crafton is now 1.7 seconds. So Crafton, I don't know what Jeff Hensley, the crew chief on that 88 truck, did, but he has made that truck come to life here in this final stage. And I believe a lot of it has to do with track position, man. We had the 42 truck having a problem. Carson Hocevar has came to pit lane. Zane Smith also. Those 2 trucks, we're hearing they've made contact with each other, and they both got in the wall. Zane Smith and Carson Hocevar made contact, and they both got in the wall. They both had to come down pit lane. They both had a tire go down. That's why Zane Smith and Carson Hocevar are now a lap down. There's Hocevar in the 42, Zane Smith in the 38. So they are now both 1 lap down to Chandler Smith, who's now once again lead change here at the front. Stuart Friesen trying to grab that lead away. 22 trucks on the lead lap. It'll be 21 of the 52 gets around that 24 of Wood and Smith again up the track in turn 1. It's like when you see a truck do that, when they miss the corner, when they go up in that 2nd or 3rd lane, they get all that dirty stuff on the tires. It takes a few laps to really get back in the groove, and sometimes it's hard to do so, and sometimes you make that mistake once or twice after the initial time you did that, and that's why you see a truck do that, and then a lap later they do it again, and they do it again. It just takes a few laps for them to get back into the, it's all about being consistent here at a track like Martinsville, trying to, maintain that lap time, lap after lap, make no mistakes. And right now they trying to maneuver their way around the 40 of Lawless Allen, who's now going to go a lap down. 19 to go this time by for Stuart Friesen. So Allen goes 1 lap down. Jack Wood also in a lap down. Matty Benedetto, the 25, we saw him struggling in that 2nd stage. He's now driven his way back inside the top 10 in that 25 truck. And now we got the 19 on pit lane, Derek Kraus. Another truck having a problem here late in the race. He was running up inside the top 10. And now Derek Kraus, with 18 to go, has to make an unscheduled pit stop. That's going to take him out of a shot at a top 10 finish. Here's Colby Howard, the 91, going after Zane Smith. Smith already already a lap down. And the truck that he got into, the 42 of Hocevar, happens to be right in front of him. Imagine that. I believe we might be under caution. Are we under caution? Trying to go back and see. They're pretty slow. And yeah, we are under yellow. So the caution is out. Trying to see where the issue is. Here, and it may be for debris on the racetrack. And it is debris on the racetrack. That is why the caution is out with 17 to go. Man, things are going to be getting good here on this next restart. We have 18 trucks on the lead lap. Wallace Allen should get the free pass. And Stuart Friesen, who was able to get the lead, he did not want to see that yellow come out, because now he has to worry about Chandler Smith, Matt Crafton. And there's a 40 of Wallace Allen. He's going to go and get his lap back. Is anybody going to come down pit road, though? And so far, no techers. Tires seem to have tires seem to be very important. Especially if you have a good number of laps on the tires. But with 16 to go, I'm not sure if it's worth giving up all that track position. We still got about almost 20 trucks on the lead lap. So Stuart Friesen will stay out. And we'll see if he can hang on to the lead and try to grab his first win in a couple of years. Phoenix of 2019. The last time Stuart Friesen's gone to victory lane. Does he get another win here this afternoon? We'll find out here after the break. Live here on the 4Y Broadcasting Network, Stuart Friesen leading the way over the 18 of Chandler Smith. Going to be going green here next time, or not this time by, but the time after. We'll be getting the 1 to go here this time by. 3 drivers searching for their first win of 2022. Matt Crafton was winless 1 year ago. Stuart Friesen also, we talked about him being winless 1 year ago. Hunter Nemechek trying to come back from a lap down to win. Grant Enfinger in 5th place. Chase Purdy 6th. Johnny Sauter, Corey Heim, Matty Benedetto, and Ben Rhodes. Now your top 10. Colby Howard, Tanner Gray, James Busher, Parker Klugerman, Jake Garcia, Greg Gaulding, Jesse Little, Wallace Allen. All on the lead lap. But it's Stuart Friesen on the front row with Chandler Smith with 16 laps to go. What's going to take place now? We're back to green here this time by the Paperclip. And what a restart by the 66 of Johnny Sato. You saw him go through the middle almost, trying to thread the needle on Enfinger and John Hunter. Didn't really work out all that well for Sauter. He falls back in line. Crafton's going to take second away from Chandler Smith as Enfinger trying to work his way around the 4 John Hunter. The 3 wide back here with James Busher on the inside of the 99 of Ben Rhodes. Corey Heim up top in the 51. There's the 1 of Haley Deegan inside the top 15. Greg Gaulding, that 02 truck, having a great run. For Young's Motorsports, there's Klugerman, 75. Chris Wright, the 27. He was able to stay on the lead lap and keep from going a lap down. Matty Benedetto now up to 6th place in that 25. So De Benedetto all of a sudden finding some speed here late in the race. Going after the 2 KBM trucks. And Chris Wright did go a lap down, by the way. That was a mistake. Chris Wright is currently a lap down as Nemechek now going after the 18, and all of a sudden the 18 falling back. He got passed by Sauter, by Enfinger, by Crafton, by De Benedetto, by Nemechek, and now by the 91 of Colby Howard, driving his way back inside the top 10. Remember, Howard had to start at the very back of the pack at the beginning of the race. It's been a very up and down day for the 91 of Colby Howard, but he's now inside the top 10 in 7th place. And Chandler Smith for the first time all day long, finds himself falling back in the pack, now to 9th place. Possibly, if Buescher can make the pass, the first time we've seen Smith this far back all day long, and it's at the worst time of the day. 11 laps to go. Enfinger trying to find a way around the 88 of Crafton. Sauter up ahead of the 25 of the Benedetto, who's now stuck on the outside of the 4 of John Hunter Nemechek. 10 to go. This time by for Stuart Friesen. Friesen beginning to pull away from the 88 of Crafton. Crafton was closing in on the 2 leaders as they were battling there at the end on that last run before the yellow came out. Johnny Sauter, John Hunter, now Colby Howard trying to grab 6 away from the Benedetto. Yeah, as he preferred lane out. Here comes the 45 with James Buescher. There's Chandler Smith. He's been able to stop the bleeding. He's been able to stay ahead of the 61 of Chase Purdy, currently in P9 at the moment. Haley Deegan back in 11th. Greg Gaulding in 12th. Corey Hinders, Ben Rose 14th. We have the 15 on pit lane, Tanner Gray. He's been in the wall. Tanner Gray's had a great day so far. Runs inside the top 10 all day long, but now Gray, he's been in the wall. I don't know what that was a pretty slow or a pretty quick pit stop just to repair some damage, but Tanner Gray goes the lap down. Trying to drive away is Stuart Friesen. And Haley Deegan has now driven her way up inside the top 10. So a great run here by Haley Deegan. But now she's stuck behind her teammate Tanner Gray, who's a lap down, and that may cost her a spot unless she gets down in front of Corey Heim, which she does. There's Ben Rhodes in the 99. There's Parker Klugerman inside the top 15. Greg Gaulding, the 02. James Buescher's also on pit road. Trouble for the 45 with James Buescher. He's had a great day. Now we got the 12 with Jesse Little. I wonder if some of these trucks or some of the trucks that stayed out. Haley Deegan's now on pit road. I wonder if some of these trucks that are now pitting, are they trucks that didn't take enough fuel, or they stayed out on that one yellow. But it's Friesen leading, Matt Crafton in the 88, and now Deegan gives up a top 10 to come to pit road. I believe Grant Enfinger has come to pit road. So trouble for the 23 of Grant Enfinger and the 25 of Matty Benedetto. Colby Howard's on pit road. Parker Klugerman is now coming to pit lane. Trouble for many drivers late in the race. Jake Garcia is on pit road. But it's all good at the front with Stuart Friesen and Matt Craft, and they stay out. No trouble here. And Friesen will take the white flag the final lap here at Martinsville Speedway. That'll be his first win in a couple of years for the 52 team of Stuart Friesen. They switched manufacturers at the beginning of 2020. Had a rough 2020, a solid 2021, but they're going to get a win here in 2022. Stuart Friesen goes back to victory lane in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. And Friesen wins as many drivers come down pit road late in the race. Not sure what the issue is with all those drivers. I would assume fuel had been in question, but one of the drivers that came to pit road was Grant Enfinger, and he was one of the guys who came down pit road. He gave up the lead during the Taylor Gray, Timmy Hill caution. And Johnny Sauter, in a part-time schedule, is going to end up in 3rd place. John Hunter Nemechek is going to be 4th, I believe. We're going to have to go back and at least kind of evaluate the where everybody is. That's NASCAR is currently doing that as we speak, but trying to get the official results correct. But Stewart Friesen is your winner here today in Martinsville. And there is the winner, Stewart Friesen. Our 5th different winner in the first 5 races of 2022. And now locks himself into the playoffs here this year. As we're going to be taking a look here at the results from today's race. They will begin post-race inspection. Matt Crafton, 3 straight top 3 finishes for the 88 team, although he ran outside the top 20 for much of the day. Teammate Johnny Sauter, 3rd. John Hunter Nemechek. And once again, a great day for Chase Purdy inside the top 5 all day long throughout the top 10. It's a very well-deserved top 5 for the 61. Chandler Smith won stage 1, won stage 2. He led the most laps. Fell back late in the race, ends up 6th. Ben Rhodes up front in the first and second stage, kind of fell back in the last little bit of the race, but fights back to 7th. Corey Hine, Greg Golding getting a great top 10 in that 02 truck. He was also the last truck on the lead lap. Grant Enfinger comes home 10th place in the 23, 1 lap down. Lawless Allen and Colby Howard. That is how the top 12 looks. Many drivers had to come down pit road. Now, a few guys had a guy at the wall. That's why they went a lap down. But then some of the guys like Enfinger and there's Matty Benedetto in 14th place. Tyler Ankrum, after being 3 laps down, Tyler Ankrum gets a top 15. I gotta say that's kind of a win for that 16 team. Haley Deegan, Parker Kligerman, Derek Grouse, Jake Garcia, and Chris Wright, the top 20. There's Carson Hocevar back in 24th place. He made contact with Zane Smith. Got put in the wall. Ends up 24th place. Zane Smith, 2 laps down, 25th. James Busher had some problems in the 45. He ends up 26th, multiple laps down. Daniel Dye made his series debut today, 27th. Ty Majeski, 28th. Justin Carroll made his series debut. He ends up 33rd. Chase James, 34th. The last truck that was running at the end of the race. 35th place was Taylor Gray and Timmy Hill. They were involved in that lap 105 accident. And then Tyler Hill, Christian Eckes, Sheldon Creed, and Tate Fogelman out of the race. So we are now 5 races in, like we said, into the year. 5 different winners, and Stewart Friesen on the playoff grid. His name now in green, meaning he will be fighting for a Truck Series title later on this year in the playoffs. All the fans here at the track, they definitely saw one heck of a race here at the Paperclip, but that is not all the action they'll be seeing here this weekend or even today. The NASCAR Xfinity Series drivers will tackle the Paperclip later on this evening here in Martinsville, Virginia for their 6th race of the year. And then tomorrow the NASCAR Cup Series will also, the new next-gen car debut, will make their debut in Martinsville. That should be a fun one to watch as well. So until later on this afternoon, we'll see you later. And once again, congrats to Stewart Friesen. He wins the Blue Emu Maximum Pain Relief 200 from Martinsville Speedway.